happy Valentine's Day. We're so happy you chose to be here with us this evening. We have a wonderful program and a very exciting collaboration ahead of us here this evening. We are so thrilled to have our special guests from the Royal Canadian Air Force Band and the United States Air Force Brass Quintet here with us this evening. You're in for a real treat. We are so fortunate and blessed to be able to make music in this beautiful space that exists on these traditional lands, and we don't take that for granted, and it is indeed a privilege for all of us to get together in this beautiful space. The University of Manitoba campuses are located on original lands of Anishinaabe, Anishinaabeg, Dakota, Oyate, and Dene, and on the national homeland of the Red River Métis. We respect the treaties that were made on these territories. We acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past, and we dedicate ourselves to move forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. We're going to have a special guest open the show tonight. Please welcome, under the direction, the University of Manitoba Concert Band, under the direction of Captain David Regner. We're going to try to keep the speaking to a minimum this evening. As you can see, the theme of the event is rituals. And rituals in whatever form that is. Is it dance? Is it meditation? Is it prayer? Is it events in the world? Is it times of year? So this whole program in some capacity taps into this notion of rituals. And this next piece is one that is a standard in the wind band repertoire, which really embodies that aesthetic and that idea. We hope you enjoy. us to the last piece of this set. Then there will be about a 7-minute changeover, not an official intermission, before we bring out our first guests. And this is a very different type of ritual. So each of these pieces, we had kind of a ceremonial beginning, and then we had this tribal kind of chant, like crazy frenzied dancing, then we just had that beautiful hymn and lullaby. And now we're into something called shadow rituals. And for those of you out there that know wind band or know wind band composers, you are probably going to hear a lot of familiarities to Frank Ticheli's music. So Michael Markowski was very inspired as a young student by playing Frank Ticheli's music, and went on to win a very famous composition contest with this piece. So you will hear a lot of similarities. We hope you enjoy Shadow Rituals. exchange number. We'll be right back.
Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be with you this evening. I'm Master Warrant Officer Richard Monson. I'm the Senior Warrant Officer of the Royal Canadian Air Force Band based at 17 Wing here in Winnipeg. Such a pleasure for us to be here tonight. And I'd just like to say a few words while we're getting settled on stage here. I want to read the opening paragraph of the concert program, and it states that rituals have long been a part of the human experience, as humans have worked to answer and respond to things bigger than ourselves. They must involve the coming together of communities in honor or service to a greater cause. This can involve community celebrations like birthdays, weddings, and funerals, celebrations of the human spirit such as the Olympics, or feats of architectural, artistic, philanthropic, or leadership innovation. Tonight, we celebrate the expansion of our music community to include the music of the Royal Canadian Air Force Band and the United States Air Force Band to achieve a truly global music community. This is truly an occasion to celebrate. This has been an incredible week of music making for us, and we've come to an end of an exceptionally edifying music experience between the University of Manitoba Wind Ensemble and Concert Band, the Royal Canadian Air Force Band, and the United States Air Force Band. The fourth partner in this exchange is you, the audience, who is an active part of the environment and the music community tonight. Thank you very much. As musicians, we enter the band room or the stage as individuals. We have our strengths, we have our weaknesses, and idiosyncrasies. But when the music starts, we cease to be individuals and we become a collective. At that point, our differences fade away, and we all work together to create beautiful and inspiring music together. The coming week together, the hard work and focus that went into preparing the music for this concert has been an inspiring process, especially observing the hard work of the emerging artists from the University of Manitoba. And I want to thank every musician here for the musical integrity that you committed to this week. Now, before we begin, I'd like to invite Captain Regner on stage to speak about some of the stories from this week.
So I've been asked to speak about the United States Air Force's, the Air Force Band Quintet experience here. Before that, just put things into context. A little over a year ago, we invited the Royal Canadian Air Force to do a similar joint concert with us in Washington, D.C., and it was spectacular. I had heard about this legendary kindness and niceness of Canadians, and I didn't really believe it until I experienced it firsthand. The story goes that we were in my rehearsal hall in my building, and Captain Scoose was in that rehearsal hall, and he made me feel welcome in my own building. So, all to say that the Brass Quintet and I, we've been looking forward to this event for a long time. That was until we arrived on Sunday evening and walked outside. And this entire week has been filled with these wonderful experiences, but people keep coming up to us and saying, hey, you picked a wonderful time to get that full, Winnipeg experience. And I just want to make something abundantly clear. We did not pick this week to come here. But in all seriousness, the hospitality and the warmth and the camaraderie and friendship that has been shared over these past couple of days have been nothing short of extraordinary. And it hasn't ended. They provided us food and drink. They really rolled out the red carpet. But just to add the cherry on top, today, right before this concert started, I was over there, out of uniform, and I was just making small talk with someone over there. And then it got to the point where someone asked me, what year are you here at the university? And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Like, they're so nice because I'm in my late 30s and someone thinks that I'm still a university student, which is great. Being here, being able to perform at One Cat and being hosted by Colonel Hanson, I know she's out there somewhere. Man, you were absolutely a wonderful hostess as well for us. Thank you so much for making us feel welcome. We wanted to give a small token of gratitude to the Royal Canadian Air Force Band and to their commander, Captain Sluice. So can I invite Captain Sluice up to the stage right now? Can you all welcome him? So knowing full well that there's nothing that can really demonstrate the gratitude that we have for you hosting us so well, and to really commemorate this wonderful special partnership between the U.S. and the Canadian militaries, we wanted to give you this small token of appreciation. It's a nice big picture of us at our concert from last year. And I just want to read the inscription on behalf of our commander, Colonel Don Schofield. Thank you for being such a warm and gracious partners with the United States Air Force Band. Thank you so much for the partnership, Captain Sluice. And if I can really quickly invite Dr. Dawson really quickly on stage. Is she there? Yeah. So another form of hospitality, I was not supposed to conduct the piece that I conducted today. She's like, hey, you're here, why don't you conduct? I was like, I'd be honored to conduct. And I was like, it was such a wonderful gesture. So, a small token of gratitude from us to you. These are our career field badges. This demonstrates like, you are a part of the band now. Every single person in the United States Air Force gets a badge, and it basically identifies you as what you do and how you contribute to the United States Air Force. So this is the same one that we all wear. So you are now officially a part of our band.
Very much, Captain Ranger, for those kind words. The Royal Canadian Air Force Band is going to play 3 movements from the Divertimento, in the order of movements is 2, 3, and 4. So please join me once again in welcoming to the stage our conductor, commanding officer, and director of music of your Royal Canadian Air Force Band, Captain Devin Sluice.
there will now be about a 10 to 15-minute intermission. Thank you. Before I introduce the next piece, I just have to make one announcement about a very unfortunate clerical error in the program. And we have about 150 musicians on the stage tonight, and there's several moving parts and many different people that improve the program. And there's always an error, but this is a fourth-year student, so it's a bad one. I just want to make note that Stephen Wang is still in the wind ensemble. Yes, he is. He was not sent home. Okay, he was not home. So I'm very pleased to introduce this next piece, which is kind of the highlight and was the kind of source of inspiration for creating this particular program this evening. The Bernstein Mass is a work of about 2 hours. We're not going to hear all 2 hours tonight, I promise you. But it was written in 1971, commissioned by Jackie Kennedy. It was written for the opening of the Kennedy Center. And we're hearing a lot about the Kennedy Center in the news right now. So you can imagine it was a very significant moment in history. Bernstein wrote this for a cast of upwards of 200 people. Singers, dancers, soloists, children's chorus, marching band, rock band. It was so ahead of its time, and it was very much in line with this composer who really pushed the boundaries. He's one of the most influential composers in the Western world, and so he had a statement to make, and so he borrowed the liturgy from the Roman Catholic Mass, but it's composed in a way that it's secular and sacred. You have Latin and English texts. You have this fusion of genre. You will hear bits of that in this suite. And this is just a 15-minute glimpse of the great music that was from that great Mass that was written in 1971. And Bernstein himself said to communicate, his intention was to communicate as directly and universally as I can a reaffirmation of faith. And just recently I had the privilege of studying with, when I was in graduate school, studying with a gentleman who was a Bernstein scholar, and he visited with the group just a few weeks ago, and he met him, and he's written many books about him. And fun fact, people often say, well, is it Bernstein or Bernstein? And from what I was told and taught many years ago is that most would say Bernstein, but the composer himself said Bernstein because it sounded grander and better. So I say it as he would have said it. But we are very, very pleased to introduce our guest soloists for this work. Please welcome to the stage the United States Air Force Brass Quintet. program. They write music that is sometimes workshopped, but sometimes performed by the symphony orchestra or the wind ensemble, percussion ensemble. And we were really fortunate this time around that one of our own members, who's a composition major, wrote this piece for the ensemble. Dylan Fitzhenry is in his fourth year of Bachelor of Music in Composition, and he's from Winnipeg. He went to Oak Park High School, and he's been in the concert band and now in the wind ensemble for 3 years. And we've just had a wonderful time preparing this incredibly well-written work. And I invite Dylan forward to tell you a few words about it. Dylan.
Hello. Should I take this off? Hello. So, the piece that you're about to hear is something that I started in about June of last year. And about a month and a half ago, I started working on it with this lovely ensemble. And I've been having an absolute blast hearing it in rehearsals and sound check. And I'm looking forward to hearing it today. So, a bit of background about the piece itself. In the spring of last year, myself and the University of Manitoba Ensemble went on a tour around northern Manitoba, which was absolutely as luxurious as it sounds. But along the way, we made a stop at Clearwater Lake, which is a lovely destination. I went for a little hike. And this piece that you're about to hear is in 5 sections that kind of go around the different parts of that experience that at least I felt while going on that hike. So to paint the picture for you a bit, this forest, you can't see the lake yet before you come upon a cliffside, and it's just this open, still frozen, completely still lake in front of you before we descended down this cliff and explored these kind of narrow caves and ravine systems. And just this image of a cave that is completely covered in ice, it's just fresh into spring, not melted yet, a wall of pure ice, some people slipped, but just the picture itself, it was a great experience. So from the calmness to the iciness to the excitement of exploration, I just explored stuff like that in this piece. And honestly, I could not have asked for a better group of people and a better conductor to work with for this. So please enjoy Rose and Chartreuse.
entitled Affirmation. Thank you very much, everybody. I know it is a long program, and we have a 2-minute piece left for you. Before we commence here this evening, a few special thank yous. I know on behalf of the Royal Canadian Air Force Band, we have Wing Commander Colonel Jody Hansen and Wing Chief Warrant Officer Phil Cousineau here. So thank you. If they're still here, thank you so much for being here. Remiss if I didn't say a huge thanks, first of all, to our friends in the Royal Canadian Air Force Band. We have been doing these collaborations now for 5 or 6 years, and we have a really, really close special relationship with these wonderful, outstanding, world-class musicians. They are truly servants. They give of their time, they serve us with this beautiful music and representing our beautiful country, and we are so fortunate to have this annual event with them. And as you know, their commanding officer and music director is one of our graduate students here, and we have just the highest admiration and respect for these folks. So please join me in thanking the Royal Canadian Air Force Band for being here. Our special guest that came from Washington, D.C., as has been expressed already this evening and earlier today at our matinee, we have these most amazing pictures of these musicians making music side by side. And the humanity and the collaboration and the respect and the love of why we do what we do is palpable on the stage with these musicians. And it has been an absolute honor and relief and joy to be sharing the stage with our friends, and we know we have many years ahead of making music together. But we're not going to let them go back to DC without being a little bit warmer, because I know it was a bit of today was balmy, let's be real. Like today was like, come on, we can be in a t-shirt today. So we have a little something for our friends from Washington that hopefully will keep you warm when you come back, because we hope you come back. So if I can have a representative from each section please stand, and could the members of the U.S. Air Force please stand as well. And Captain Bregler, if you could come out please. And so we have these wonderful, you can't come to Manitoba without getting a tune. With a wonderful French-Canadian march entitled Mon Ami. I apologize for keeping you here on Valentine's, but we hope you haven't regretted one moment here with us this evening. Thank you very much. Have a safe drive home, and we'll hopefully see you in the spring without toques.